Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to this brand new video. So in this video, we're gonna talk about man in the middle attack. What is it all about? So this side, imagine this is your router or your hotspot device, which is straight up directly connected to the internet. And this is the person who is in the middle, which is gonna be you until and unless you are the victim. So there will be a victim which will be connected to the router initially, for direct communication. All passwords, links, websites, all requests basically will be sent directly to the internet, to the hotspot. But you intercept this by doing ARP exploitation. We'll learn about all about that in this video. So let's straight up get into this. Okay. MITM, that is man in the middle attack. Man in the middle attacks. So initially, your victim PC will be directly connected to your internet. As I told you, the resources. But man in the middle, you will become the man in the middle and you will intercept the connection. And you do it using ARP spoofing attack. So this is the situation before the ARP spoofing. That is whether it is you or whether it is victim. The communication would be like you asking a request to the router and it will give you a response. Or whether it's the victim asking a request to the hotspot or the router, it will give you the response. By the way, you should be on the same network as all of the three. What are we doing basically here is we're gonna channel it from this being asking it to the router to this being connected to you now. Like it will ask you, it will think like as if you are the router and all the data will be transferred from you to the access point. So by doing all of, why are we able to do this? At the end you will realize that this is quite exploitable and it's not secure. ARP is not secure. Why it is not secure and everything we'll be learning all about towards the end of the video. But yeah, that's all about it actually. So you can access whatever that victim is sending. You can modify it or you can even drop it. You cannot even let it go to the internet. You can drop the request. You can you can modify the request. You can see the request and then that's all it. So ARP, address resolution protocol. Address resolution protocol is the full form of ARP. Simple protocol used to map IP addresses to a machine to its MAC addresses. Let me read this again. Simple protocol used to map. Map is basically just in a way like, how do I explain you maps? For example, there's paint. Let me just show. Like this is one thing. I like to teach with shapes. I explain with shapes. Um, what is this here is, let's associate it like, let's for circle we'll call it sir C151414. For triangle we'll say something. For circle would be round 32, and for triangle it'd be T2. Something like that. Okay, let's just naming randomly. So mapping would basically map them. That is like this. Like we should have an arrow, right? We don't have arrow. That's weird. Anyway, so like around is this. We are mapping it. T2 is this, and this is this. Just like match the following. It matches and registers. So similarly, what would happen here? The IP addresses of a machine to its MAC addresses. It's kind of complicated, it seems right now, but let's just copy this IP address, MAC address, and let's paste it in Paint for This is MAC address, and it's gonna be IP address. Evil among three, huh? Okay. So I'll show you whose MAC addresses and whose IP addresses and whose MAC address. Anyway, move forward. Now, now, what would happen is like the hacker, will do a ARP, address resolution protocol response. You will get after there is one slide missing. Basically, let me just show you the video itself, the video wherein I have learned all of this from. No, no, not that. Huh. This is, huh. This is a slide that we are missing. We'll go to the end of the slides. Huh. This is a slide. The hacker will ask who has an IP of 10.0.2.6. Okay. So everybody's gonna drop that request, and the only response you're gonna get is from the very victim, and it will say, "Oh, what did it say? It would say, hey, I have this my IP address, and my MAC address is this." Okay, crazy. 10.1.22334466, and my MAC address is this. You will like fine, and you can even go to your terminal or terminator and type ARP hyphen A space hyphen A. Then you will see that the MAC address, a certain MAC address, is mapped with what the fuck am I saying? A certain IP address is mapped with a certain MAC address. You'll see that. Even in Windows, when you type it, you'd see a certain, you'll see like a certain IP address is mapped with a certain MAC address. This is the IP address of the router. Let's say it's simply like that, and this is the IP address of the same router. This is the MAC address of the same router. I'm confusing MAC address and IP address. This is the IP address and this is the MAC address of the router. Okay, so basically, what it is happening, that all the data, all the requests will be forwarded to this IP address, to this MAC address. Anyway, so what is ARP spoofing is basically the hacker will send a response, even though they didn't even request. The access point did not request anything, nor the victim requested anything. It will still send a response, and the funny thing is they will even accept the request. Okay, anyway, the hacker would be like, I am at 10.0.2.7. It will be like, what? Okay, you are the victim. You are not the hacker. Okay, I understand that. And what did you do? Uh, what did you do? I'll show you later. Basically, this will update his MAC address for this hacker. It will be like, on this IP address, set the MAC address of the hacker. They will initially it was the victim's MAC address, which is not shown here. Basically, it also has a MAC address. The hacker also has a MAC address. That very MAC address will be linked, will be mapped on this IP address, and will be stored by updating itself inside the router. And what this would say, like, I am the router. I'm at 10.2.0. Like, what? You are the router? What the fuck are you? So what did it basically do? The victim will update now by changing. Uh, Basically, the MAC address would get changed. Initially, the MAC address was 52.4 something 3500. Now it would change to the hacker's MAC address. You see what I'm saying, right? Yeah. And yeah, by the way, all you'll be like, I mean, like the IP address, how long will it be able to fake it? I mean, like, will not it be a problem? No. That all the data gets transferred over the network on the basis of MAC address, not the IP address. Remember that. Anyway, so that's why ARP spoofing is very easy to do. Why? Because Clients accepts responses even if they did not even request for it, and clients trust responsive without even asking for verification. Like, are you for real on 10.0.2.1? Are you really on that IP address? This victim wouldn't ask, nor the router will ask this. So that's it for the video. So we will be able to do that. We'll be able to intercept into the connection. Anyway, take care, be safe. In the coming videos we'll learn more on this. Do not think about that you'll become something, you'll be able to do something. Focus more on learning right now, because you cannot control something that is not controllable. Till then, take care, be safe, and don't go to jail, keep hacking.